Sarah Brady of Iron Fire. I'm here before the 2023 Hardrock 100 with Dylan Bowman. Dylan, how are you?
Hey Sarah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. So we usually see you on like the other side of the microphone. So first question, are you doing Hardrock to get a weekend off?
Yeah, no, it's become rare that I actually get to pin bibs on nowadays, and so I'm taking full advantage of the opportunity. Obviously, Hardrock is one of the great races in the world, and a race that I have a lot of affection for, so I'm glad to be back. Yeah.
Okay, super. And you've had a really good result here before. You were second in 2021, the last time it went in this direction. So what is it that brings you back?
I got pulled off the wait list and into the race. Obviously, Hardrock is, a sacred opportunity for trail runners. When you get an opportunity to do this race, you sort of have to take that opportunity. And I've been in the sport for a long time, grew up in Colorado, started putting in for the lottery, I think in 2010, finally got pulled in 2019. There was 2 cancellations, finally got to run in 2021 after, more than a decade of trying to get in. And now, luckily, after a 2-year hiatus, I got pulled 6 on the wait list in the lottery, and due to some attrition, I have the good fortune to be on the start list this year. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, it sounds like something you can't really turn down. So yeah, I believe you're living in California, but you've been over here a good bit the last few weeks on the course. So how's your build up been?
It's been abbreviated. I've been, as I've said to Brian and Megan, sort of implementing the Francois Den approach, which is arrive 2.5 weeks early and just sort of do as much as you can on the course in a short period of time, trying to force some acclimatization, force some fitness adaptation. And so I've been doing a lot of big days. It's been slow. The course is really snowy, especially in like sort of the back half of the race. And so, I've been here about 2 weeks now with 5 days to go until race day. I'm starting to feel pretty solid, but the training has definitely been lower than 2021, and so sort of like not really sure what to expect.
Okay, interesting. And also, so you have some like really, really good 100-mile results in your sort of back catalogue on this race, Western States and Istria. But the last few years you've been doing a lot more kind of 50k to 100k. So I suppose you've partially answered it there that your training's been a little bit lower, but have you changed anything significantly to go back to 100-mile mode?
Well, I mean, so much in my life has changed, and that has been reflected in just the volume at which I've been racing the last couple of years. I really haven't been fit and committed as an athlete since Hardrock 2021. Obviously, with the birth of our son last year, with COVID, with all the things that we're doing in the sport right now, it just hasn't left a lot of room for me to focus on my own athletic life. And so, that's really sort of like the reasoning that the last couple of years there haven't been a lot of 100-mile race results. It's been more just a lack of ability to put in that type of training and to really put any goals on the calendar. And yeah, like I said, I've just sort of tried to open up as much space as I could for myself this spring to prepare for Hardrock. I did a race in Japan, a 70K. I did a local 50-miler in the Bay Area, both that I approached, just as good long training efforts and, recovered from quickly. And I've gotten a lot of 5-6 hour training days in the last, 8 weeks. But fewer of the 9 to 12 hour days that I got before 2021. So different approach. Every year is different. And I'm trying to keep that mindset or keep that understanding, that every year is different. You just have to do the best you can.
Okay, brilliant. And so I visited the Bay Area just lately and ran your local trails, and they're awesome, but obviously it's sea level. So is there anything, as someone who lives and trains a lot of the time at sea level, that you have to particularly do for this race, for the elevation?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because I think even for the runners who live on the Front Range in Boulder and Denver, they come up here and they really struggle with the altitude. And I, like I said, grew up in Colorado. I lived for a long time in Aspen. I feel like I adjust pretty quickly. I like the feeling of being at altitude, but there's just no getting around that. It's painful at first when you get here. And so, yeah, that's just sort of like what I've been trying to do is just get up, tag 13,000 feet basically every single day. I just went and did Little Giant, a little while ago, just, finished about an hour ago. And yeah, starting to feel stronger at altitude, but, you really need to get here early in order to mitigate that a little bit. 2.5 weeks is sort of like the bare minimum that I was willing to do. In 2021, I did 6 weeks in Mammoth. So again, shorter acclimatization period this year, but it's certainly better than nothing. I'm starting to feel pretty strong up high. And with the Colorado roots and DNA, hopefully that'll play to my advantage.
Yeah. Okay, great. And we know with like the massive winter that's been here that like the course conditions are going to be really different to last time you ran the race. So just for other people who might have seen the course in different conditions, is there anything in particular you can say as a heads up, like this is different this year?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a uniquely difficult year. I actually just saw Brian Powell out in Cunningham Gulch right before I did my run this afternoon, and he made the analog or the comparison to the Fire and Ice year at Western States. So again, for those who don't know, it was a year where there was a lot of snow in the high country at Western States, but that it was also like a uniquely really hot edition of Western States. That's sort of how this is setting up. It's supposed to be very warm on race day, and there's still a lot of snow on the course. So I think it's setting up to be uniquely difficult. I do want to give a big shout out to Brett. I don't forget his last name, but he's sort of runs sort of the trail crew that puts the course together. And I just met him also a short time ago, and they have done a lot of work to mitigate some of the dangerous sections on the course because there were a lot of sort of snow fields that you would have to traverse, and especially those ones in the early morning or in the middle of the night could be really dangerous. And so shout out to the race for making that effort to put the course in the type of condition to make it as safe as possible, even though it is a postgraduate race, as they say.
Yeah, it just seemed like a massive effort, and it's great to see so many runners out there just pitching in as well.
Yeah.
And then just maybe it's too soon to ask this, but have you thought of what's next? Have you got anything else in mind for this season?
No, honestly, my goal is really just to enjoy Hardrock, to like not, to hold on to the memory of 2021 where everything was just like perfect. It was one of the great days of my life, and I'm so happy to have the opportunity to do it again. But also, like, I know it's going to be different. I think it's going to be a lot harder. I think I'm way less prepared than I was. So it's sort of like, just go and enjoy what you do and appreciate the opportunity. And then after that, we'll sort of see what the rest of the year holds. I'll definitely be over at UTMB, but likely won't be racing. I'll just probably be enjoying and working over there.
Yeah.
So competitively, yeah, it's hard for me to set a lot of goals right now, but it's been a good phase of my life and career, and I'm just lucky to have the chance to run this weekend.
Okay, fantastic. Well, it sounds like even if less prepared, you're going in pretty relaxed, so that has to be a good thing.
Yeah. Feeling good, and again, just appreciative. Yeah.
Great. Okay, brilliant. Well, I hope you have a fantastic run. We'll see you out there. And thanks very much.
Thanks for doing this interview. Fun to do first I Run Far interview.
Yeah, for sure. It's been great. Cool. Thank you.